All right, there's Joe to the right. Joe is a New Jersey native, but he goes to school at Penn State. And Jim on the left is, he's from New York. He's a solid player, made top 8 of a Grand Prix with Goblins.
He's top 8 in multiple Grand Prix with Goblins.
Did he?
Yeah.
2?
I think 3.
3 with Goblins, really?
Yeah, it's like been over the course of like well over a decade.
Okay, I know he came second at the Star City Invitational. He lost to Pat Cox. I don't know if you remember that one. That was last year.
Yeah.
So both players are definitely good players. Hopefully we see a good game. And
Jim is kind of known as a Goblins player.
Just he is. Yeah.
Forever, like since Onslaught Block constructed.
Yeah.
Well, I think his first PDQ win was with Goblins.
Yeah.
So.
And he seems to be like one of the few people who actually does pretty well with Goblins. Most players, don't really play Goblins or they don't do too well with it, but Jim seems to, hold his own with it.
Joe, on the other hand, his first, he won a PDQ in upstate New York a couple of years ago playing Storm. Was not able to attend that Pro Tour. Was pretty upset about it.
It was Hawaii, too.
Yeah.
His mom wouldn't let him go because he got like a B on his report card.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's rough.
Yeah. All right, Jim's got a mulligan. And Joe's going to keep his hand. So, Jim actually took a break from Magic, kind of. He's been busy with other things. And it's actually funny because he's really good friends with Max Teets. And
Max just won the Invitational.
And he always splits with Max at like every tournament they go to. They always do like some like 20% split, 50% split, whatever the case may be. And the past like couple of tournaments, Max has been doing really well. Max won the Invitational. And then Max also top 8'd Grand Prix Baltimore. Or did he top 4? He might have top 4. Regardless, Max is on pretty much a hot streak. And he almost made top 8 yesterday in the standard event. But his opponent beat him in the last round.
Yeah, Jim also almost made top 8.
Yeah, he came 9th place.
Yeah, Jim came in 9th yesterday in the Standard Open. Yeah. I think Max actually came in 10th or 11th.
Yeah.
So Jim and Max, best friends. Both X1 and 1 yesterday in a 9-round tournament. Neither of them making top 8. Pretty rough.
No, I think Max was X2-1. He was X1-1 going into the last round.
Oh, he lost the last round.
Yeah, Max lost the last round. I can't remember.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
Yeah. So. All right. So Jim Davis leads off with a Scalding Tarn and just passes the turn. No turn 1 Goblin, which is good news for Joe. Joe, on the other hand, decides to go to 19 life and cracks his Misty Rainforest. And this probably means that he has a turn 1 Delver. So we'll see if I'm right. It's either a Delver or a Ponder. Otherwise, he just wouldn't have cracked it, I'm guessing. And it's a turn 1 Delver. All right, so a good start for Joe. Now, people would assume, you're playing mono red Goblins. You probably got a lot of burn to get rid of the Delver. But actually, your whole deck is pretty much just Goblins,
Yeah, like you have Gem Palm Incinerators.
Yeah, you do, yeah.
That's how you're going to kill that Delver.
Yeah. It's kind of funny when Mog Fanatic came out, everyone's like, wow, such an awesome Goblin. But it's not even good enough to be played now. Or at least Jim doesn't think so. So no Mog Fanatic for Jim. Jim pretty much just relies on all his Goblins and his mana disruption to try to beat his opponent. He uses Wasteland and Rashad and Pour to, try to tie down opponent's mana. So there's a Goblin...
Mog War Marshal.
Goblin. It's a Mog War Marshal. Not a Goblin Mog War Marshal?
I think it's just a Mog War
Just a Mog War Marshal. All right, Mog War
It's a 1/1 Echo.
Yep.
When it comes into play or leaves play, you put a 1/1 Goblin token onto the battlefield, and it has Echo.
Yeah, so in this case, you don't even want to play the Echo.
Yeah, a lot of the time you don't even want to play the Echo. You just use it as a gather the townsfolk that makes goblins.
Yeah, sure. All right. So Joe decides to play a Brainstorm on his upkeep. This will allow Delver to flip, guaranteed. And if things go okay, Joe will also have, a land, and maybe he wants to play a, Grim Lavamancer or a Goblin Guide, or maybe a second Delver. We'll see if he has any of those.
This is a Mega Man card coming from Jim here.
Yeah, he's trying to think of what Goblin token he wants to play. All right, so Joe doubles checks to make sure everything's okay with the Brainstorm. For what? All right. maybe Jim thinks that Joe passes upkeep or something.
Oh, I think Jim said go and took out his tokens, and then Joe said,
Oh.
you didn't put a token into play.
Okay.
You don't get it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because of the new rules.
He didn't have it in play. He didn't put the token into play before he said go.
Okay. These new rules are crazy. Yeah. I'm going to have to play
Yeah, I
better
mean,
now.
he kind of... That's a little... I
don't know. I mean,
Jim
whatever.
picks up the tokens
Yeah.
and, like, says go. He obviously is... He's just shortcutting.
Yeah, well, we'll see what the judge says. Hopefully the judge makes the correct ruling. Right here, I think the correct ruling is the Mog Marshal does make the goblins. Joe, a stickler for the rules. Ooh, and Jim's mad. Jim means this means war now. All right. So chain lightning flips. And let's see what Joe decides to do. He's got multiple sack lands, which is pretty good, obviously with Brainstorm and you know, Ponder. All right, so he attacks Jim down to 15. Sack. Jim actually sacked the Scalding Tarn and an Arid Mesa, so those were the first 2 points of damage. Now, why don't you guys tweet in? What do you guys think about that? What happened was that Jim Davis played the Mog War Marshal, and he went to go reach for tokens, said go, never put a token into play, and then Joe said, hey, you forgot to put a token into play, and...
well, he, like, picked up the tokens, like he was going to put one into play, and then...
Yeah, well, you know, what do you guys think? Tweet in, let us know. So you could figure out yourself. Yeah, somebody said that's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, I think that's ridiculous as well. Somebody else
I
says
agree,
this is
that's
the stupidest ruling.
So, yeah.
It's the new lapse in triggers policy.
Yeah, but okay,
Yeah,
well,
that's
all right. So
poor application.
yeah, the judge came over to talk to us, but well, I don't know. We're on air, so we probably shouldn't talk to them off camera.
Yeah. I'm like, I disagree with you, Judge.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if he's reaching for, yeah, like, there's a difference between, like, shortcutting and forgetting, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like, Jim didn't forget. He was,
Yeah.
was shortcutting.
Yeah. Yeah, so, yeah, exactly. Somebody else said he didn't forget. Yeah, I think there should definitely be a token to play. Sometimes...
And we have it on camera. As soon as he cast it, he picked up the goblin tokens and said go.
Yeah. So, well... I definitely would have appealed that ruling to, like... I would have just, like, called Sheldon on the phone.
Yeah, I mean, when he appealed it also, I think it's a little
I know.
weird when they appeal rulings and don't contact us when we've actually watched it and have it on camera.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean... Yeah. So far we got 8 tweets in, and they're all from, you know, saying it was either super scummy or just the worst ruling in the world.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
I think it's a combination of the two.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, so some cuts from Joe. Jim will draw for his turn. Those are all snow-covered lands? Yeah. So this is usually a big turn for Jim. Goblin Ringleader's, you know, really powerful. We'll see if he has one. I see a Taiga, Rashad Import, another Mog War Marshal. Wow, 10 new tweets in about 30 seconds. Alright, so Mog War Marshal. This card's so tough to pronounce, especially with my tongue. I have, my tongue's been hurting me a lot, so the Goblin, I'm just going to call it the 1-1. The 1-1 attacks, and Joe takes it. So Jim is going to, he's still thinking, you know, what's his best line of play here. He knows that Joe's deck does play Burn Spells, does play Snapcaster Mage, so he has to, you know, kind of be careful of his life total. The second War Marshal could be coming down. Yeah, people are saying now it's a mandatory trigger. But the new ruling is if you forget the triggers. I don't know. I just think that was, the token should have been in play.
I agree with you.
Yeah. Wow, so many tweets. All right. Must be a lot of people watching. All right, and there's the Skirk Prospector. Skirk Prospector, 1 mana, 1/1. Sacrifice a goblin, add a red to your mana pool.
Yeah, with Mog War Marshal, that's really good.
Yep. And that was met with a Force of Will.
Mm-hmm.
Looks, I don't know who's really winning this game.
Joe.
You think Joe has the advantage now?
Yeah.
Do you think if Jim had an actual 1/1, the game would have been different?
Yes.
Maybe a little different.
Yeah, maybe after this we can get the judge in here.
I don't know.
I'd like to talk to him about it.
Maybe not on camera.
No, I would like to.
Okay.
I'm not going to be argumentative.
Oh, nice. Joey Pasco tweeted in. What's up, Joey Pasco? I love you, man.
Hey, Joey.
Yo, don't try to steal my thunder. I said I love you first to him. All right. The Delver attacks in for 3. Joey said he would like to hear the judge's explanation as well. All right, and there's a Snapcaster Mage. It will target the Brainstorm. So Joe is doing all this main phase. Okay, he draws into... Joe's got a lot of cards in his hand. All right, Arid Mesa. And I think Joe's going to play the Lava Mancer now. This is like one of the whole reasons why he did everything main phase.
Yeah.
All right, and there's a Grim Lava Mancer. And Joe will pass the turn. So Jim needs a good draw here. I don't think Jim should pay Echo. Echo doesn't really do too much.
Yeah, especially when you're at 8
Yeah.
board, Lava Mancer and a flip
Yeah.
Delver. It's
Please come up to these segments areas.
Oh, he pays Echo. All right. Well, Jim knows his Goblin deck pretty good.
Once again, standard skill competitor.
I mean, he really needs a Gem Palm Incinerator.
The Gem Palm would be pretty good. What would you take out with the Gem Palm?
The Delver.
Yeah, I think so too. Oh, he has the Gem Palm.
That's good. So that's what he's doing. He's doing it. He's doing it before he decides whether or not he plays upkeep.
Ooh, draws a Wasteland. I think he pays now. Yeah.
It's reasonable.
I mean, he could try to cut Joe off blue mana. He could Wasteland the Volcanic Island, tap the island on his upkeep. That's a possibility. Like if he thinks like Joe doesn't have any more lands. All right, CSY, enjoy the Avengers. He was one of our loyal followers as well. All right, Jim's doing some math, some combat math. So Jim's board 2 Goblin tokens. One token just came into play. Mog War Marshal, Mountain, Rashad and Port. Actually, Snow Cover Mountains, but whatever.
Joe's going to take 2. Goes down to 11 here.
All right, Wasteland on the Volcanic Island. On the upkeep, he's going to tap Joe's Island. Joe has Chain Lightning and Price of Progress. All right, there's Price of Progress. Jim falls down to 6. Okay, he's probably gonna hit him with a Chain Lightning. That would knock Jim down to 3, and then Joe could play his Arid Mesa and use a Grim Lava Mancer to knock him down to 1, and then next turn it's lethal.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens.
So, Joe, pretty strong position here. We should just not use the chain lightning here.
Oh, there's an ether vial. Ether vials.
And yeah,
brick.
Joe's got the game 1.
Yeah. So I feel like ether vials. If you don't get a turn 1 ether vial, it's just so bad. It really is. All right, there's the ether vial. There's a mounted. All right, Jim goes down to 4. There's a brainstorm. 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay. I think Joe could just show him his hand, you know?
Yeah.
Chain lightning? I mean, it doesn't even matter if you... Yeah, okay. So, Jim scoops up game 1. I don't think the extra token would have mattered.
I don't think it would either.
Yeah.
After...
At one point in the game, it could have, you know, maybe been a factor. But... we'll see what happens. Alright, so Jim's going to do some sideboarding.
So, Cyrus Mandrake is asking how many phases have to pass that he wouldn't get the token. I believe it's just 1. But, I mean, generally when you're shortcutting, like a lot of the time, you'll cast a Primeval Titan and you'll pick up your deck and start searching for lands and say go. You know, I don't think that's a problem. That just keeps gameplay at a reasonable pace. You know.
Alright, so Jim's going to bring in 4 Red Elemental Blasts. And he's going to bring in Pyrokinesis. What about Joe? What's Joe going to do?
Looks like post board, and Joe doesn't really have anything for this matchup.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Nothing at all?
Force of Will, maybe?
Housekeeping?
Well, I mean, he needs to cut the Spell Pierces because they do nothing on the draw.
Okay.
Nothing. So I guess he can replace them with a Force of Will, a Price of Progress, and a Sulphurous Vortex? I don't know, like, those cards don't really...
Let me take a look. So, yeah, he'll probably bring in a Force of Will and a Price of Progress. And,
well, that Spell Pierce is absolutely dead.
No.
Like, the Sulphurous Vortex is at least like a shock to your opponent, right, when they're at 2?
Yeah, you know what he's going to do? He's going to bring in Submerges.
Oh, and just cast them. That makes sense.
No, he could do it for free because Jim Davis has Taigas.
Oh, doesn't Jim only have like 1 Taiga? And it's for like a Tinstry Hooligan on the board
He
or
plays
something?
2 Taigas, but you never know.
Oh, I guess that's true. I mean, does Joe know that? Joe didn't see a Taiga in game 1.
Well, the Taiga was... No, the Taiga was stuck in... I believe the Taiga was in Jim's hand. But, I don't know. Submerge is like, okay, it's better than Spell Pierce. Spell Pierce doesn't do anything, you know?
Yeah, Spell Pierce only counters Aether Vial, and if you're on the draw, that doesn't really seem like a good...
Yeah, or maybe Joe gets to read, and Joe knows that, like, Pyrokinesis and Red Elemental Blasts are coming in, so maybe Spell Pierce. But, yeah, I think just bringing in the Force of Will, an extra Price of Progress, and, like, a Submerge is better. I mean, it's tough for Joe to actually hard cast Submerges for the most part, because he only has 20 lands in his deck, but, I mean, it's possible.
That's true, yeah. The token would have mattered because he would have been able to gem palm the Delver a turn earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, maybe the judge will come in here and discuss what exactly happened, because sometimes we can't hear everything. Alright, so these guys are shuffling up. Now, flashback like 10 years ago, Joe was actually the kid that went turn 2 go, forgot to play his 2-drop, and I didn't let him take it back, and this is what he turned out.
See?
The Magua.
See, look what you did. You create monsters.
No, I spoke to the kid about it, and that's a different story. You know, when I was playing against the kid, he played a second land and he said go.
Ironically, 10 years ago, Joe was the kid at my local card store. I swear to God, in
Yeah.
real life. And I did let him take stuff back. And he turned out this way anyway.
Well, we're not giving Joe a bad name. We're just joking around with you guys. But,
I know. I'm sorry.
You know,
I like Joe.
Some of the people on Twitter
Sort of.
feel that you know, it was the wrong ruling. You know, and I mean I don't blame it. Everybody, you know, saw what happened, but whatever. We'll see how the match turns out.
Yeah, but post board here. I mean, I think Jim is a pretty big favorite in this matchup.
You think Jim is a big favorite?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
I think Goblins beats everything that is in a combo deck
All right.
when
So-
Jim's playing it.
It looks like Jim's mulliganing. Jim gets rules Lloyd, and like the karma makes him mulligan. My friend Ryan was joking about that, so we went to the local store on Friday, and we're about to leave, and there was just a deck on the table, and it was like Snapcaster, Huntmaster, like the Type 2 dual lands. So it was like a red, blue, green Type 2 deck that somebody just forgot there.
Yeah.
So Ryan's like, "Yo, check out this deck," and then the other kid was like, "Whoa, you found it!" And Ryan's like, "I'm turning it in." I'm like, "Yeah, obviously turn it in." And then he turned it in, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do good tomorrow, good karma." I turned in this like $400 deck or whatever, and he goes like 4-4 or whatever. But I mean, obviously, if you ever find anything at a Magic tournament, you have
Turn
to
it in. Like, you
yeah, you have to
turn
turn it in.
because there's going to be positive karma.
Obviously,
like,
yeah. I mean,
How bad would you feel if like you lost that and somebody just took it and didn't turn it in?
I mean,
You know.
So always turn it back in. I forgot what I found last time, but I remember one time I found a binder, turned it in.
Look at this. Joe's from New Jersey and he's wearing a Lakers shirt.
Wow.
What a villain.
Wow. Is Joe trying to become the new villain of
I think
Magic
he
the
is.
Gathering?
I think he's becoming the new villain of Magic the Gathering.
Wow, maybe. All right.
Turn on Aether
wait,
Vial.
did you see what just happened? He put Aramation in his graveyard and he played an Aether Vial, signifying he didn't want to get him mounted. Joe, call him out in a Joe. No, I'm just joking with you guys. Alright, so force a willing at Aether Vial. Alright. What has the world come to? When you force a will a card that's a mulligan on a stick. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, well, Jim just got a turn one him for free.
Yeah.
And not for free.
I don't think people
per
realize
card.
how bad Aether Vial is. It is an actual mulligan.
Well, I mean, a deck like Goblins, where you have things like Ringleader and Matron. It's
Yeah,
different.
those cards
But-
help you make up for the mulligan, but the
Yeah,
card
yeah,
itself is a mulligan.
No, I agree with you. That's
Yeah,
like,
and Joe just double mulligan by throwing away the Force of Will and a blue card. All right, but
Yeah.
anyway, there's turn one Delver. Man, Joe's hand's really good still. He's got Mountain Goblin Guide, Bolt. All right, ooh, a Delver, wow. There's Goblin Guide. Joe's gonna swing in for 3. All right, Aether Vial gets revealed. And is Jim gonna do a Pyrokinesis?
one might assume so.
Yeah, I think Jim might have to. Pyrokinesis, you
If
could.
he slow rolls it for like a second longer, he'll be able to
All
3
right,
for 1, Joe.
so there's a Pyrokinesis. It's pretty much the red Force of Will. You could spend 5 mana, or you could discard a red card, or remove the red card from the game, and deal 4 damage any way you want. Any way you want, that's the way you need it.
a great
Any way
song.
you want it. All right, there's another mulligan, Aether Vial. We knew that was the top card from the Goblin Guide. Ooh, Chain Lightning flips the Delver. Now Joe's hand is Bolt, Chain Lightning. And
Yeah,
Jim's gonna
I
be
mean-
at 16 life.
So Jim's essentially at like 6 right now.
No, so 7, right? Or no?
Right? Didn't he just get...
Yeah, he's on 16, and there's like 3. He's on 7. Anyway, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. So, the Delver attacks again for 3. What do you think should have happened?
I think Joe's going to put Jim down to 13.
That's a decent point. Somebody tweets it. Well, so Soul Ring's not a mulligan. Soul Ring's just an awesome card.
Soul Ring is the opposite of a mulligan. Soul Ring is a 2 for 1.
Yeah. So Soul Ring's like it's 2 lands.
Yeah, it's 2 lands for 1 card.
Yeah. Aether Vial sometimes when you like it's only a mana like half the times. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. So a Volcanic Island played by Joe and then passes the turn with a very strong hand. He's gonna hold that Chain Lightning until Jim is tapped out on red mana because. By no means, he doesn't want to do what Dave did. But all right, oh wow, another one. I think that's game.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, he has 12 points of damage in his hand. I believe it's Bolt, Chain Lightning. I talked to Shields about everything that happened in his match, and yeah, he agreed. He said he made about 4 misplays. So, and when he scooped, it was like a mistake for him to scoop. He still had Price of Progress he could have drawn. Alright. So, yeah. I mean, Jim has no gain life in his deck, and he has no way to stop Joe's direct damage. So, the bad boy of Magic.
Joe Kazhdan, the bad boy of Magic.
The next thing you know, Joe's going to make top 8 of this event, and he's going to be wearing a leather jacket. He's going to be wearing a leather jacket, and he's going to have one of those Bluetooth in his ear.
Oh, those people are the worst. Leather jacket Bluetooth people?
Yeah.
If you're watching right now, turn it off. I don't want anything to do with you.
Actually, don't turn it off.
I'm kidding.
Alright, Jim's just thinking, is this really happening?
I'm really losing to the bad boy of Magic, Joe Kazhdan.
Yeah, this is crazy. And look at that Ether Vial. Did you see how much work that Ether Vial did this turn? It just sat there for multiple turns, getting
Well,
counters.
it's going to put a Matron into play.
Alright, uh-oh. So there's Ether Vial, and there's a Matron. Now, you know when you tap Ether Vial, and the person says okay, and then they want to put Goblin Matron into play, you can't respond anymore. It's too late. Did you know that? Alright, so he gets a Goblin War Chief. If Joe wasn't the bad boy of Magic, he would show his hand. Right or no?
Yeah, it's just like a vicious slow roll. He's playing against goblins. It's not like he can interact. Like right now, Jim is like thinking that
This
this
is
game
insane.
that they're still playing a game, but
Oh, okay. So
Oh,
he's
okay,
finally
right.
decided. Oh, and he sends a hand. Okay.
oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Guess you're not the bad boy of Magic anymore, Joe.
Yeah. All
Gotta
right.
extend the handshake.
So somebody just texted me. They said that if Matt Kiefer is 5-0, he's playing stat.